special session on crime enters its second day in Baton Rouge as lawmakers consider measures that could reshape Louisiana's criminal justice system.
I was only 17 years old when I was tried and convicted and sent to prison for a crime I didn't commit.
An emotional testimony is given ahead of a contentious debate with the bill proposing to expand methods of executing death row inmates.
Our warming trend continues with afternoon temperatures staying in the 70s, even behind a cold front.
Molding together with these kids creates opportunities that we can be excited about.
A new STEM program focused on artificial intelligence is working to provide opportunities for local students. This is WWL Louisiana News at 10.
Well, developing tonight around 8, a loud boom was heard. Brian Wagner, who lives in Slidell, shared videos with us that captured the noise. Other viewers called into our newsroom saying it even shook their homes. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Devin Bartolotto. We contacted the Slidell Police Department and the Stennis Space Center. We have not heard back. And the United States Geological Survey shows no recent history of any earthquakes. Those are rare, but they do happen offshore occasionally. Now, we will continue to look into what this sound was, and we will, of course, keep you updated.
And now to another top story we're following. At the same time, Louisiana lawmakers were on the House floor debating solutions to crime. During a special session, New Orleans police were investigating 2 murders.
More than 20 bills have already been considered. Amelia Strahan was in Baton Rouge today with a look at what was discussed.
Lawmakers in Baton Rouge have set a grueling pace, one that some representatives say isn't giving them enough time to make decisions that will change lives.
Well, I think it's too fast. As part of the Democratic caucus, I wish we had more transparency in rushing these kind of bills when we don't have full discussion.
More than 24 bills were considered by House and Senate committees, including one on the death penalty with mixed reaction. Another bill considered would decrease the post-conviction relief timeline down from 2 years to 1. Lawmakers heard testimonies from exonerated men who spent years in jail for crimes that they didn't commit.
Time limitations is very important. I stayed in prison 36 years, and 2 years after being convicted, I presented this evidence that showed that I could not have been the perpetrator of this crime.
But it didn't seem to make a difference. The bill was approved and sent to the full House. Representative Laurie Schlegel from Metairie brought 2 bills to the table. One would crack down on carjackers, increasing minimum sentences from 2 years to 5, more than doubling those sentences if the victim was injured.
It's just one of those crimes that are very traumatic and has a huge increased risk for the victim. So we want to make sure we deter this crime.
If passed, Schlegel's second bill would put fentanyl dealers behind bars for up to 99 years if they sell products that appeal to minors. Both bills advanced to the House. In Baton Rouge, Amelia Strahan, WWL Louisiana.
Tomorrow, the Criminal Justice Committee is expected to consider a bill eliminating parole eligibility for crimes committed by an adult.
Another agenda item today included enforcing sentences of executions for death row inmates. One bill making its way through the special session could add more methods. Louisiana has put executions on hold because there has been trouble getting the drugs needed for lethal injections. That's the only method legally allowed. But under House Bill 6, the state could use electrocution and nitrogen gas. Those against the bill point to wrongful convictions and guilty inmates who've repented as reasons to rethink capital punishment altogether, while supporters, like the bill's primary author, see it as justice.
Our governor has asked the legislator to bring back barbaric practices of the electric chair and of nitrogen hypoxia, which is essentially suffocation.
Members, we made an oath to uphold the laws of our state. You can honor that oath and remove the hurdles so that justice can be served.
At the end of former Governor John Bel Edwards' term, almost all of Louisiana's death row inmates filed for clemency. As Attorney General at the time, Jeff Landry stopped those applications from moving forward. This conversation surrounding the special session continues tomorrow. Senator Pat Connick and a local representative from Vera Institute of Justice will be on the WWL Louisiana Morning News. You can catch that during the 8 a.m. hour over on WUPL. And you can always get the very latest right here on air on our website, our app, or our social media pages. The special session on crime must end by March 6th.
As for those two murders we told you about at the top of the show, the first happened around 10:30 this morning in the 7th Ward. Police say they found a man shot on the sidewalk near the intersection of North Durgeon and Allen Streets. Then around 3 in the lower 9th Ward, dozens of evidence markers showed the spot on Lazardi Street where another man was killed. If you know anything about either of these shootings, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. And more tragic news tonight. 3 people, including 2 children, were killed in an overnight fire in Livingston Parish. It happened at a mobile home park in Denham Springs. Firefighters say they found the 2 kids. They were 9 and 10 years old, and a man dead inside of that home. Officials say 2 homes and 4 vehicles were damaged. The state fire marshal says the home did not have working smoke alarms. And in New Orleans this afternoon, the fire department was called to a fire at the Cypress Park Apartments in Algiers. Our crew on the scene said 2 units appeared to be damaged, one of which was uninhabited and another already in need of repair. And we're told the other on the ground level directly below was vacant at the time of the fire. So far, there's no word on a cause. And we are following a power outage in the Iberville area. This began just before 6 this evening and has impacted nearly 1,000 people. It was originally supposed to be fixed around 8:30, but now, according to Entergy's outage site, they expect it to be back on around midnight.
And last night we told you about delays with the return of the Rampart streetcar line. Today, the Regional Transit Authority tells us there are even more delays, and it won't open until sometime in April or May. Years after Hurricane Katrina changed the landscape of public education in New Orleans, a new school not run by a charter could open soon. As we first told you in January, Lafayette Academy on Carrollton Avenue will close at the end of the school year. NOLA Public Schools hopes to reopen it as the Leah Chase School. Tonight, the proposal passed committee, and it now moves to a full board vote on Thursday. If it's approved, it would be the first direct-run school to open in nearly 5 years. Back in 2019, New Orleans became the first major American city without any traditional schools.
In this community, the voices of the people, the families, the children have resoundingly said, since my return in 2016, they want to see a return to traditional neighborhood schools.
The goal is for the school to reopen in the fall, but some members of the Orleans Parish School Board say they're concerned about timing, especially when it comes to enrollment and hiring teachers. Again, that vote will be held on Thursday.
Football, robots, and free computers. That's the big surprise a group of students at Dillard University got today.
As Whitney Miller explains, it's all a huge push to create smart opportunities at HBCUs.
To show our students cutting-edge robotic technology.
Tuesday, 50 lucky students at Dillard University got a first-hand look at the future of artificial intelligence.
This is Pepper's first visit at Dillard, so we're getting Pepper out to meet the community.
Pepper was just the first surprise for these students. New Orleans Saints defensive end Cam Jordan teamed up with Microsoft and the staff at STEM NOLA to provide free Surface laptops and to teach an immersive introduction course to generative AI.
This is what the rest of the world are teaching their children, because they need to be exposed to it. No matter what career they choose, once they leave Dillard, they would have to deal with artificial intelligence and data analytics.
I mean, come on, I've had ChatGPT longer than she's been working at Channel 4.
Despite the obvious shade, Cam Jordan says he's happy to be a part of a forward-thinking program.
These young adults have their future ahead of them. I mean, when they get out of Dillard, they're going to be in a place where they can affect their communities if they so choose to stay.
Deja Hubbard is a senior majoring in biology and says while she doesn't know much about AI now, she's starting to understand the importance of artificial intelligence.
When I was younger, I always said by now we'll have like flying cars, stuff like that.
According to Forbes, 64% of businesses expect AI to increase productivity. It's part of the reason why Dr. Mackey says education is a glaring solution to some of the tough issues we face in our region.
Anti-crime is education, and education starts with exposure. And that's why instruments like Pepper and classes like artificial intelligence is very important for our children.
In New Orleans, Whitney Miller, WWL Louisiana.
Standing water in parts of New Orleans has residents upset as they push the city to fix a continuing issue.
It's really great to see the smiles on kids' faces and see the joy that comes with spending time outdoors.
A local organization is using nature to help kids explore and learn teamwork. Meet our latest Tegna Grant finalist.
A cold front is on the way for the end of the week, but for now, our winter-like temperatures are gone. 7 local high schools will compete for state soccer championships this week, including at the Willow School.
We here at WWL Louisiana are dedicated to our community, and one way we're uplifting others is through our Tegna Grant Program. For the last several weeks, we have featured one of our fall finalists.
Now this week, photographer Rickney's Riggins headed outdoors for an adventure to Loop NOLA, where kids are getting the opportunity to learn about nature and have some fun along the way.
Loop NOLA is the Louisiana Outdoors Outreach Program.
You're gonna throw it on just like a backpack. You are going to clip each buckle.
We are a small nonprofit located in City Park with the mission to provide positive, life-changing outdoor experiences to children and youth in greater New Orleans.
I want you to grab these shoulder straps on your life jacket and give it a good tug up.
We want to have fun outdoors to buy them in, and then beyond that is getting to see them try new things that they thought they couldn't do before, that suddenly they know that they can do.
We're just going to kind of hang out right here until we get everyone on the water.
It's great to see them take those risks. Obviously, we provide a lot of safety, so it feels far riskier than it actually is.
Why don't you guys work together?
Get this. And step over, Zoe.
It's really great to see the smiles on kids' faces and see the joy that comes with spending time outdoors, and also to just see the awe that comes with learning things about nature and working with their teammates, their classmates. Because when you come together in an outdoor environment and you get to have fun and you're being led by supportive adults, it creates that safe space to make those bonds.
All right, you guys ready? Let's go!
Everyone belongs outdoors. Get outside, make sure you get to spend some time in the outdoors. The physical and mental benefits of being outdoors are amazing.
Good job, that was awesome.
Applications for the next round of Tegna grants are open to any 501c3 charity. You can scan the QR code you see on your screen right now or head to WWLTV.com. That application deadline is March 1st.
A boil water advisory is still in effect for parts of Belchase. Today, those living on Omega and Lambda Streets were without water while crews were fixing a water line. We, of course, will let you know when that advisory is lifted. Some New Orleans East residents say they've been dealing with standing water in front of their homes for weeks now, which can attract bugs and very unpleasant smells.
As of yesterday, my driveway, the water was higher and all the way over.
And I called Sewage and Water Board and told them something going on because it looked like a swimming pool out, in front of my door.
The Sewage and Water Board told us the water is likely related to heavy rainfall and a leaky pipe at Drainage Station 15. That meant they couldn't run both pumps. That has since been fixed. But we also noticed that nearby catch basins appear to be blocked.
Residents are tired of hearing excuses. So if the pump is down, get it back up. If the drains are blocked, clean them.
Now, the Department of Public Works is responsible for cleaning those catch basins. We did reach out to ask when they were last checked in the area, but we haven't heard back. But you can always call 311 to report any that you see that possibly could be clogged. And fortunately, we haven't had any rain like that this week.
No, and no real rain chances through the next 7+ days.
Good.
So we'll stay dry. We've had most of our drought eroded away, thankfully, with what had been a very wet start to the year. But at least for the near future, no rain in the forecast. And actually, the warming trend will continue over the next couple of days. We're under clear skies now. However, humidity has been gradually coming up. Those clear skies may start to allow some what we call radiational fog develop later in the night. At the moment, visibilities are fine. No one really reporting any visibility issues. Down to 4 Mile at Galliano, but elsewhere not really much of a concern. However, models indicating as we continue well after midnight, but going toward daybreak, we'll start to see that fog likely on both sides of the lake. As the temperatures are able to cool down to the dew points, which are now much higher, we'll see the fog form. Could be an also issue for Wednesday night going into early Thursday morning. At the moment, though, good visibility, not really an issue over the next several hours. 56 degrees, our current reading, with a dew point of 52. So humidity coming up rapidly with those dew points now in the 40s and 50s. Yesterday, dew points had been in the 20s and 30s. So the humidity's kind of quickly coming back. Temperatures, though, are in the 40s and low 50s and likely not going to cool down a dramatic deal more than we are at the moment. That is obviously not the dew point at Bogalusa. we're generally in the upper 40s and low 50s, and the temperatures are about the same. So not going to cool down much more, but as we get closer to that dew point, that's when the humidity skyrockets over 95%, and we'll likely start over 90%, and we'll really start to see the fog developing. Light winds, but out of the south, and as we've said time and time again, being on the Gulf Coast, it doesn't take much to see that more humid air move in, and also some slightly warmer air. What's really going to help warm us up over the coming days is this very well-defined upper level ridge. That sent temperatures across Texas and the plains during the day today. Obviously not the same during the evening hours, but upper 70s and low 80s. I don't think we're going to get quite that warm here, as the upper ridge, as it pushes farther to the east, is actually going to kind of flatten out a bit. So it's not going to be as strong. I think sending more of us into the lower 70s, mid 70s by Thursday, and then kind of an upper troughing feature that will help push some slightly cooler but more so dry air back into the area for the coming weekend. Cold air is staying well to our north, so we will see a little bit of a drop in our temperatures, more so a reintroduction of the dry air for the weekend. This weekend looking fantastic. Upper ridging, bit stronger, starts to develop as we head into early next week before another sweeping front pushes through by midweek. So ups and downs of our temperatures will continue within the next 7 to 10 days. That's putting us right into the start of March. So highs today, 70, 71 degrees. Tomorrow and Thursday, more lower to mid 70s. They'll come down, notice, not dramatically so for the weekend. What we'll see more than anything this weekend is the bringing back of the drier air. So this weekend looking fantastic and a lot of sunshine. Then really warming up with that stronger ridge before another big cool down on the way as we head toward the end of next week. We're under clear skies now, high pressure dominant. Different story out across the west. That atmospheric river bringing in the flooding rains from basically almost Victoria, Canada, all the way down to the California-Mexican coast, and with that heavy rainfall moving in, that has been leading to some flooding issues, and then where it gets into the mountain west, snowfall. This eventually is going to set up a cold front which will move our way. Nothing though compared to the rains that we have seen out west. In fact, for us, maybe an isolated shower or two later in the day on Thursday, well in advance of our front, at least the leading edge of the front itself. This is really the cooler air, which won't start really moving in until later in the day Friday and then on into the weekend. And again, not dramatically cooler, I shouldn't say that. It's really more of the dry air that you'll feel the difference for this coming weekend. So tomorrow, Thursday, still very nice. A bit more humid, though, with that onshore wind continuing. Breezy and less humid during the day Friday, and that will continue on into this coming weekend. High temperatures, as we said, will stay in the 70s, so even behind the cold front, just really drier air, nearing 80 degrees, though, by early next week before what is looking to be another front. This is kind of the transitional months, February into March, and so the ups and downs.
Spring.
So days will be near freezing, and other days will be 80 plus.
Those looked awesome, though.
This snow isn't bad.
Yes.
It's been beautiful every day so
You
far
are
this
welcome.
week.
Thank you, Chris. Couldn't have had that during
You know what?
Mardi
I
Gras.
do give you credit for the bad weather, so I'll give it to you for the good weather.
You blame me for the bad weather.
I gave you credit.
You give me credit for the bad weather?
Doug gets credit for sports.
Yeah, right. So moving on. Over the next 4 nights in Hammond, Louisiana will hand out 8 state soccer championships, including
is a free kick in the goal.
Willow
from
School
35
boys going for a state title. They're going for back-to-back. Seth has that story ahead in sports. Over the next 4 nights in Hammond, Louisiana will hand out 8 state soccer championships, 4 on the girls' side, 4 on the boys' side, and we have 7 local schools trying to win state this week, including the Willow School boys, who are trying to go back-to-back, as Seth Lewis reports uptown.
The Willow School's run to the Division III title last season was something to behold, especially as the 4th seed. But in 2024, the Lions have ruled the jungle as the team that everyone's hunting. Now, Willow is 1 step away from making program history as the first team to go back-to-back.
So we've got to be able to join in.
Coach Barcelona and everything, he's big on, you have to work to get what you deserve. So we've just been working hard. And also this year, it's been really easy since a lot of us play on the same club soccer team. I've also known most of the other seniors on this team since we were kindergarten, since we were 5, 6 years old. so it's really easy to like play together.
It would be huge for us. I mean, this is something that we've looked forward to for ages now. Since we were freshmen, we've been looking forward to that senior year, finishing on the high note and, you know, ending it with a bang. And I feel like we're getting really close to that dream becoming a reality.
We've got a really close group of guys. A lot of these guys play club soccer all year round together, all on the same club team. So they're all best friends. Like we've had these guys, a lot of these guys have been going here since kindergarten.
A few of us are Willow lifers, been here my whole life, and it's just, you know, I'd really love to finish on such a high note.
For the seniors, this would also be their third title in 4 years, and the last obstacle is a familiar one in U High, a team that they've faced in the playoffs the last 2 seasons. Senior Sebastian Salm telling me that Ben Franklin is our true rival, but it's a friendly rivalry. But anytime that we meet with U High, it's a fight. In Uptown, Seth Lewis, WWL, Louisiana.
All right, thanks, Seth. The Crosstown Classic tonight, Xavier hosting Dillard. We'll start with the men. First half, goal rush up one. Corey Dunning comes up with the steal, dishes to Corey Wells, shows off the hops. Xavier up early by 3. Then a few minutes later, Blue Devils down 7 at this point. Torrey Cargo drives inside, finds Tony White in the corner for the 3. Dillard down 4, but Xavier and Dunning were intent on putting on a show tonight. Off the steal, the behind-the-back pass to Tracy Steele for the layup. Xavier wins tonight, 72-69, the goal rush, now 19-5 on the season. The party began tonight with the women. It was a close game at half, third quarter. Dillard down 1 when Jordan Rowe gets the lefty floater to fall. Dillard leads by 1 at this point, 33-32. But Xavier would finish the quarter on a 21-9 run, including Zaria Harlow coming up with a steal, going coast to coast for the basket. Xavier by 13 after 3. Then fourth quarter, the Harlow show continues. She gets the bucket and 1. She finished with a game-high 15. Xavier wins 62-52. The Gold Nuggets 21-5 now on the season. College baseball, Tulane hosting Nicholls State in the season's first midweek game. A Green Wave with some good situational hitting tonight. Brock Slayton delivers the sac fly to put the Green Wave ahead 3-1. And one of the big stories for Tulane early in the season, literally their closer, Trey Sahajic, he's 6'8", 240 from Shreveport. The Green Wave now have 3 wins on the season. Sahajic has 2 saves. Tulane beats Nicholls State tonight. The final was 3-2. That's a look at sports. We're back with more in a minute.
How cute is this?
Kelly Osbourne?
I don't know. Attention dog lovers. Tomorrow night, the legendary Dolly Parton will roll out the pink carpet for the most possum fashion event of the year. The Pet Gala will feature performances by iconic Parton songs alongside some of Dolly's best in show furry friends.
Oh, I love this. You can watch all the cuteness starting at 8 p.m. tomorrow night and stick around for the WWL Louisiana news at 10 right after. I think that was, that is Kelly Osbourne.
Oh, okay.
I know that signature hair.
Let's bring our dogs in.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
And dress them up.
Yeah,
it
for
would
the
be,
10.
It would
my
be.
dog does not work.
It would be chaos.
Yeah, it would be chaos. Even better.
Yeah.
For a visit by Joey and Bella.
Yo,
Hans hasn't gotten out of the house in a while, so
Goatee on TV.
He wants to bite some new people.
Yeah, he does. He needs to nibble on some people.
Have a good night, everyone.